Greetings, my name is Dr. Eric Landrum from the Department of Psychology here at Boise State University, and you're watching the Psych 120 screencast about the Getting Involved badge. And there's a couple different parts of the Getting Involved badge, but all the details are described here on the website that we're looking at. And in a moment, we'll click over to another website linked to the Boise State Career Center and the Make College Count portion of this assignment. And so you can see up here at the top, I'm going to highlight with my mouse, my cursor, 3 different files I'd like you to read through. Also, they're really there for your reference and for additional information, because really getting involved is going to be a critical step in your undergraduate career. And when I say getting involved, I'm really alluding to opportunities outside the classroom. And these are things that you're going to read about in Chapters 7 and 8 in the psychology major textbook. Things like being a research assistant, a teaching assistant, internships, those types of opportunities. And after my overview of the assignment and showing you some of the details, I've actually got a brief little PowerPoint prepared for you that I will show for you as well. So the assignment instructions are pretty straightforward by now. If you're doing these in order, you've done this many times. And so you're going to read the attached files up top here, the 3 that I've got there for you. They're pretty short. Then look at Chapters 7 and 8 in your psychology major textbook and the materials here in the screencast. But also I want you to go to the Make College Count Module 1, which is labeled the Career Planning Process and Overview. And I've got the cursor, it's right here where my cursor is. And you can just copy and paste that, or if you just right click on it, you can click on it right there and open it up. And when you do that, it's going to look like this. And so there's a bunch of different modules. For another badge in this course, you did a different one. Notice this is the Career Planning Process module. It's going to take you about 25 minutes to complete. It's pretty cool. I've actually done it, and you can see here in a moment my completion certificate. And so you're going to do that, as well as listen to the remainder of the screencast, read the materials. Then I'm going to want you to extract the meaningful components of such experiences, that's that outside of classroom involvement, and then write about it a little bit, thinking about your curriculum plan. How might you serve as a teaching assistant, research assistant? How might these opportunities help you? Even if you don't think right now you have the time to do that, I still want you to reflect about that. Also, while you're online and you're completing your Make College Count module, take a snapshot of that with your cell phone or do a screenshot. It's going to look like this. Actually, this one's mine when I completed the Career Planning Process and Overview. So your snapshot should look just like this, except obviously it's going to have your name customized in there after you have completed it at the Boise State website that is right there. All right, so what are the grading details? So what I want you to do is, when you submit under this assignment submission area, I do want you to submit using our normal, typical file name regimen, if you will, please. And then to grade your work, I'm going to ask you to meaningfully summarize the advantages and disadvantages of outside of classroom involvement. Did you address the type of activities? Did you upload an openable JPEG? And so, by the way, just to kind of give you a tip, I'm going to go ahead and do this. So when you click on this to submit under Getting Involved, and so please be sure that when you upload things, you do it right here. So text submission, that's where you're going to write your you're going to do this writing in these bullets right here, this first 2 bullets. Did you meaningfully summarize? Did you address how the type of activities might be helpful in your own curriculum plan? So you're going to click on that and write those here in that drop-down box. And then when you upload your Make College Count completion certificate, you're going to do it right here by add, and where it says attach file, browse my computer. Do not, I repeat, do not use the add comment section. Those won't be graded, and if you do that, then you're going to fail the assignment and you have to do it over again. So I'm just trying to kind of save you a little bit of a headache there. If you'll just follow the instructions really specifically the first time through, you should be in pretty good shape. Now, for more information about getting involved in outside of classroom opportunities. This topic that you might not already have. So in regards to getting involved, I'm really going to talk about three things, although there's more ways to get involved. I'm going to talk about research assistantships, which is abbreviated RA, teaching assistantships, which is abbreviated TA, and internships. You might be able to become involved as a peer advisor. You can get involved with a sports club and be a manager. There are all kinds of organizations. There are academic ones, there are social ones through Boise State and ASBSU. So there's lots of opportunities for outside the class involvement. And I would encourage you, as your schedule permits, to really seriously think about these and think about what you can invest. And to, if you decide to be active and involved, to not do it superficially. I'll talk about PSYC in a couple minutes, but PSYC is an international honorary organization, and it costs, I don't know what it costs these days, I think $65 for a one-time lifetime fee. And I tell students, if all you're going to do is have a line on your resume, that's kind of an expensive line. I wouldn't become a member of PSYC or PSYC Club or something like that unless you actually plan on being active and involved. Otherwise, you're just kind of pelt collecting and you're chalking up memberships and things that are not very meaningful to you. Anyway, enough of that for now. So regarding a teaching assistantship, and you may not be familiar with this term, really this is an opportunity for undergraduate students to help psychology professors with their program of research. And so rather than reading about it in an intro psych textbook or doing a small little project in a research methods class, research assistants help faculty members do real live research. Now, one of the really cool things about Boise State, at least in my opinion that it's cool, is that our Department of Psychology currently does not have a graduate program, which means that all of the faculty members who are active researchers, and that's everyone, by the way, all of us are active researchers, and we rely on the assistance of undergraduate research assistants. If we were a graduate institution with regard to psychology, we'd be tapping chiefly our graduate students. But this is kind of a cool thing that we don't have a graduate program, so we take our best and brightest undergraduate students and they assist us with our research. And so you'll really be a hands-on, very active as a research assistant for a psychology faculty member. So what might an RA do? And different RAs do different things for different faculty members, but here's kind of a roster of some standard typical tasks. And so you might be running a research study or experiment where you're collecting data from participants. You might be coding the data in SPSS and doing some data analysis. And hopefully after your research methods class and your statistical methods class, you'll have at least a cursory introduction to SPSS. You're going to be probably, as a research assistant, conducting literature searches using resources like PsycInfo, which you're learning about in a different badge in this course, and SSCI, Social Sciences Citation Index. You may be working with the faculty member to generate new ideas for new research projects. Depending on the model a person uses, they may have lab meetings, they may have individual meetings. You may be doing some word processing, some spreadsheets, some scheduling of sessions. You might be working on presenting your research at a local, regional, or national conference, either in a poster form or an oral presentation form. And ideally, if you can make this happen, and if you work with a faculty member long enough, and if the research turns out to warrant this, it would be fantastic for an undergraduate student to be a co-author on a journal article submitted for publication to a peer review outlet. That's just an amazing, that's kind of like the ultimate. That's kind of like the icing on the cake when that happens, which is pretty darn rare, I got to tell you. But when it does happen, it's an awesome thing for the student, as well as for the faculty member to continue publishing and being active in his or her field. So just kind of briefly, what are some of the benefits of being a research assistant? You can actually gain research skills that are not easily attainable in a classroom. You're outside the classroom working on research, sometimes one-on-one, sometimes in a team atmosphere. You get an actual opportunity to contribute to the advancement of the science of psychology. I guarantee that none of the faculty members that you might be working with are doing fake projects or demonstration projects. They're all doing real live research, and what matters is on the line, because faculty members need that for promotion and tenure. And so they're not playing around here. They need your help as budding professionals in conducting their research. You could become familiar with general research techniques that you might have heard about in Psych 321 research methods, but now you're applying them as a research assistant. It's an opportunity, if you go to a conference, to practice oral, perhaps written communication skills, if you have a chance to submit a publication for possible publication, a manuscript for possible publication to a journal. And then also in all these interactions, you're cultivating a mentoring relationship with faculty, which can be quite helpful for letters of recommendation. And so there's lots of great benefits you can see from this. A couple things I want to mention to you before I forget them. Psych 48 is how you do, it's called Directed Research in Psychology. And so if you were going to be a research assistant, an RA for a psychology faculty member, that would actually be the way that you would get credit. So it's graded credit. So it's A to F, and you can help your GPA by getting A's and B's in that class, as well as all the benefits that you see here on the screen. I've actually written a little bit about this. Actually, this was co-authored with a student at the time, Lisa Nelson, and so an analysis of the benefits was from a faculty member perspective, and there are many, and you can kind of see some of the items from that research that we published together. You can practice critical thinking, prep for graduate school, appreciate the research process, improve writing ability, and so on. And so you can see for yourself what faculty members' perceptions of the benefits of serving as a research assistant. I like this slide because it kind of gives you some practical advice. And so let's say that I've done a good job convincing you, or you already knew from someone else that you want to serve as a research assistant. Well, how would you go about getting that opportunity? First off, I would highly recommend that you do your research, that you go to the Department of Psychology website, you click on faculty and staff, and you check out the faculty members and the information provided there, and try to see what kind of content area or topic area that you might be interested in studying. Or you might have had a class with that faculty member and he or she talked about their research. That would work as well. But you need to do your homework. You could do a psych info search. You could do that author search function. We practiced that in the research skills using psych info badge during this semester. And so you could do an author search. You could Google Scholar search, ScholarWorks. Then I would contact the instructor using his or her preferred method. And so I gotta tell you, and you already know this, that faculty members are quirky sometimes. And so some folks love to talk on the phone. Other ones prefer personal contact and office hours. Other ones only want to talk to you by email. And so you kind of got to figure out the quirks of the faculty member and then contact them and see if you can meet with them in a way that's comfortable to the faculty member. During that conversation, once you meet, I highly recommend that you discuss the level of commitment expected, hours per week, a number of semesters. Personally, when I work with research assistants, I always want a year. I always want 2 semesters. A 1-semester commitment is kind of small because sometimes it takes a whole semester just to figure out what the faculty member is doing, and it's not until semester 2 where you can really provide some help or assistance. I think the better opportunities even beyond that are ones that can last beyond a year. But to do that, you have to be planful, and that kind of circles back to the curriculum plan assignment. If you decide the beginning of your senior year you're going to be an RA for the rest of your undergraduate academic career, that's okay. That's great. That's 2 semesters. But think what it could have been if it had been 3 or 4 semesters. That can lead to some pretty good opportunities and some very, very strong letters of recommendation. And finally, this 4th bullet here, discuss up front any plans for conference posters. So ask the faculty member, are you thinking about going to a conference? Can I help? Can I be a co-author? Do you think there might be a manuscript down the road? If there is, can I be a co-author of that? You could even be savvy enough to talk about order of authorship. And so that's the kind of conversation that would tell a faculty member, hey, I'm serious about being a research assistant, as well as I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. And that's always a good thing. A research assistantship can be a pretty daunting task sometimes. It's usually a year commitment or longer, and you may not really know a faculty member well enough to make a 1-year commitment. And so a teaching assistantship or serving as a TA is typically less daunting and less involved than a research assistant. Usually a teaching assistant's a 1-semester gig. You get credit through Psych 401 or Psych 402, depending on the class that you're TAing for. You're going to help a faculty member administer a course such as general psych or research methods or statistics. Different faculty members have different requirements. Some faculty members require their students to have had the class with them, some don't. Some faculty members require the TA to come to class every day during the semester, some don't. And so this is something that definitely is going to be individually negotiated with the faculty member that you're interested in serving as a teaching assistant for. And I would encourage you, and the benefits, are very similar. I'll go back. The benefits are very similar, although not as deep for a TA compared to an RA. You're getting to know a faculty member. In fact, a lot of times, quite honestly, a teaching assistantship might then lead into a research assistantship. Now, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You're going to need letters from 3 recommenders, and so you don't want to do everything with one person. But it's a pretty common model here at Boise State, and I've seen it happen over and over, where someone's a TA for someone, you get to know them a little bit, and then you have them be a research assistant for the rest of their academic career, as long as they want to serve in that capacity. I highly recommend extracurricular activities and internships. I'm going to kind of show you here some of the benefits of it. There's an entire internship website at Boise State that you can explore for more information. It's the great thing about these extracurricular activities and internships. They give you a hands-on opportunity to take the concepts from the classroom to an actual real environment in the real world. Practical experience. I like this bullet in particular. Learning what careers. Oops, I want to go back. Learning what careers not to pursue. And so, and I tell this story a lot to students. You may want to work with developmentally disabled children, and that's a great, noble thing, don't get me wrong. And you may do an internship at a facility for folks who work with or rehab with folks who have developmental disabilities. And I've oftentimes seen one of 2 reactions from that student who come away from that experience. Either they come away and they go, my goodness, I have just found the most important thing in my life. I'm going to devote my life to this topic. I can't believe what a good match and fit I am for it. I love working with children. Or a student may come away from that internship experience and say, oh my goodness, I never realized how much I hate children. And honestly, both reactions are just fine. If an internship shows you what you don't want to do for a living, that's actually pretty meaningful, because why would you want to go off to school and get your degree in such and such in order to have a career in a job that's going to make you miserable? And so a little bit of pre-graduation job exploration, some networking, doing some internships in the community could really save you a great deal of grief later in life. And so I highly recommend these outside of class opportunities and internships. Extracurricular activities, if you're going to be on a sports club, like an intramural sports club, or you're going to be in an academic club of some sort or through ASPSU, I highly recommend try to be a manager, try to be a coach, try to be a team leader, try to be an officer in an organization. Try to gain leadership experience through that extracurricular activity. It'll just be another added bonus for you as you're building towards a strong future, building that resume and all those good things that come from being active and involved in an organization that you can be passionate about, and that's a good thing. A couple things I want to mention to you about organizations within psychology. PSYC is the International Honor Society in Psychology. You can see I've got the website up here for you. Even if you're not a member of PSYC, there are membership requirements. We have a PSYC chapter here at Boise State. You could check us out by doing a search on the Boise State website. There are membership requirements. Not everyone can be a member, but that website contains a lot of useful information. And much of that information is open to non-members as well. So I highly recommend that you check that out. It's been around for a long time. Also here at Boise State, we have something called APS. That's what students call the Association for Psychology Students. PSYC is a one-time lifetime fee. I'm not so sure if APS has a semester or annual fee. The last time I knew it was something like $5 a year or $5 a semester, something like that. And these are organizations that are academically oriented, academically connected, but however they can be social as well. And so I've been a PSYC advisor. I've actually been an APS advisor in the past. And so these are organizations I highly recommend if you can fit them into your schedule, fit them into your work and your classes and family and things like that, to really make them part of your life, because like anything else, you will get back what you invest. And so PSYC can make all the difference. Also, PSYC, for example, has scholarship grants if you want to go to a conference. PSYC National Organization gives away hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to students all around the country, actually now all around the world, as it's the International Honor Society. And so there are really some neat opportunities that can arise from being involved in clubs like PSYC and APS. Like I say, there's a you have to qualify to be in the top 35% GPA. You'll be invited, if you meet some minimum qualifications, you'll be invited to join through email. And so that happens every semester here at Boise State. Just a couple of national organizations I think you should know about. As a psychology major, you've heard me talk about APA and many of these screencasts. APA stands for American Psychological Association. Their main website is right here on the screen at www.apa.org. There's another major association in the U.S. for psychologists and psychological science, and that's APS, the Association for Psychological Science, and their website is here, www.psychologicalscience.org. Both of these, actually I take that back. APA has a student affiliate chapter or section. You can become a student affiliate at APA. I don't think APS has an undergraduate student affiliate. I only think they have a graduate student affiliate program. But again, both these websites are going to have a wealth, a bevy, a plethora of information for you regarding psychology on that professional national level. And so I would check out the student affiliate opportunities that are available. I know at the APA website, if you're a student affiliate, you can get some discounts on APA books and things like that. And so really, I encourage you to jump into the discipline that you've chosen. Think about the clubs and organizations you can be a part of. Think about the national scene, the national fabric, and what's out there. And finally, I would encourage you to think about your local involvement. There are often times when your local department of psychology will have a speaker on campus, or they're interviewing someone, they're giving a talk. This is a great way to actually not only learn more about hot topics in psychology, but it's a fantastic way to network with faculty. So for example, if we're hiring a faculty member, they'll come and they'll give a talk on our campus. We'll advertise that talk. We'll tell APS and PSYC. We'll post posters on the 6th floor of the education building. And when students come to that, not only do they get to hear about cutting edge research, but also the faculty members in the room see who are the students who are coming of their own accord to hear talks by psychologists trying to get a job at Boise State. I'll be honest with you, I've actually asked people to be a research assistant for me one semester when people came to like 7 talks in a row. I had a core group of students who were really active in coming to talks. They were giving feedback about their future faculty members. I was just so damn impressed with this group that I actually asked all 7 of them if they would come be RAs for me, and all 7 of them said yes. And that was just an amazing, they showed me an amazing intrinsic motivation that I said, I want folks like that working for me. I want to work with them on my research together. And so I encourage you to go to these. Sometimes you can see on the screen they're called brown bags. When we bring speakers to campus, we want to put them in a room with enough people so it kind of looks good. And so it's really embarrassing to bring someone cross country to give a talk to 4 people, 3 of whom are faculty members. And so this is kind of the way that you can support and help out the Department of Psychology faculty members, because they're clearly interested in helping you out in RATA, being your instructor, letter writers, all that good stuff that is involved with being a college professor. So I highly encourage you to get involved. And that's actually, I'm going to switch back now, that's actually the theme of this badge assignment, getting involved. You can read these things here, read chapter 7 and 8. Don't forget to take care of the submission details. And that's it for the Getting Involved badge.